Alright, so in a couple days we've got this cool POE event coming, which is basically going to be a return of the Trial of the Ancestors League mechanic, which is something I've actually always wanted in the game. Core, personally, I enjoy it, and I thought it was a cool place to exist, just because, you know, any build can do it. It was more like a specialty type of content, like if you like running it and you enjoy the process, then you had exclusive rewards like tattoos, and back then Hinokora's Lock, plus a bunch of, you drop a bunch of generic divines and stuff too. It was just cool. I liked it a lot. And for the hardcore players, it was insanely good because you can't actually die there. And there's a couple twists to this. First, the new tattoo here. Now, I'm going to tell you now, we don't know how rare this is going to be. As far as I know, they haven't said anything about it. I don't think it's going to be super rare, because this is kind of like the thing about this event. I think it'll be accessible, but I don't know that it's the kind of thing you'll be slamming on day 1 or 2. It might be like your first reroll character type of thing, or I don't know, a little bit later. But we don't know. For all I know, it could be common as hell. Especially, I feel like when they show it in a stack of 10 like this, it kind of implies that we're going to have a lot to play with. But either way, I'm not planning ahead very much to having one of these. I'm trying to make it this like start of the event as secure as I can with something I know that'll work without needing these, but we'll also take massive advantage of these when it's possible to use them. So and then we're also getting all the tattoos back from the Ancestor League. There's a few of them that are extremely strong, and one of them in particular was a big driving factor to this idea I have for my league start, which includes this Warrior's Tail gem. If you don't know what this, or jewel, if you don't know what this is, it's a unique jewel you can socket on your tree. It has a medium ring, and all tattoos within that ring have their effects doubled. Alright, so it's a really, really, really good item, and you'll see why later. And then these new items are just the forbidden, like, ascendancy things, so that's like the kind of whole thing about it. And just to quickly explain the Ancestor mechanic for anyone who didn't play it. Basically, you go to this zone that is the Trial of the Ancestors zone, and you start a tournament filled with just other NPCs. You basically have all these different people in the tournament. They all have their own reward for beating them. So whoever you pick, if you beat them in that round, you get the reward over here, and they get better as you go deeper into the tournament. And eventually you get down to there just being one other person, and it's like the final or whatever, and I believe it gets progressively harder as you go. And then you also have like a rank, and the ranking system actually always kind of I thought was stupid, where basically the more you win, you get like rating, as if it's like a competitive video game, right? You're getting like your elo, and as it goes up, these rewards get better, and the enemies are stronger. That being said, the way that you actually play the mechanic doesn't change. It's just the stats of the monsters and the rewards, and so like eventually they're going to start one-shotting you. Like eventually it just kind of becomes impossible, and the only way to, if I remember this right, the only way to bring down your rating was to keep losing. Which that's not good. So anyway, once you have picked a guy to fight, then you have this screen. You have units to pick from on the left side, and you put the units in these different spots. And there's too much to kind of explain here just by looking at it. It doesn't take long to figure out what's happening, but basically, I think the guys, if I remember correctly, the guys in the front with the swords are meant to fight in the center. The guys right here, I don't actually remember what they do, but I know that these sword icons here that look like daggers being stabbed in the back, those are flankers, and so they'll prioritize going to the back lines and destroying totems, which are how things respawn. If you destroy a totem, you're basically taking a unit out of the game. And then the ones in the back are just meant to stay back here and defend, I believe. So if I remember everything correctly, that's how that works. And then you also have some power-ups you can use. You can place them anywhere, I believe, and they'll just do like random things that you can read when you're playing. And you can also buy more units. You get like rewarded units each round, but you can also buy some with like some random currency that they have in the zone. There's like NPCs that sell them, basically. So yeah, you pick your guys, put them where you want, and then you start the battle, which looks like this. Obviously this is like a cinematic, it's not the correct POV, but you can see these totems that are all spread around. These are all different, they're assigned to different units. Like you can see this turtle over here is coming from this totem. So if you go over there and you don't attack the totem with your damage or anything, you channel it for a certain duration. And if you get hit while you're channeling that totem, it like resets your progress. So you can't just be a god tank and just sit there and hold it. So you kind of have to be a little bit strategical about that. And some units are better at doing that for you than others, but generally, like, you're going to be the reason rounds end quickly if you figure out the kind of routine. I remember my favorite thing to do was just to get as many guys as possible in the center that would just draw all the attention, and I would just click the totems, and yeah. So it's weird because it's not really combat. The more time you spend killing the enemies, the longer you're just going to end up taking to do the fight. So the only merit in killing stuff is just that there's no, they're on a respawn timer and you can channel the totem while they're dead. There's no other reason to kill people, monsters. So that's the mechanic. It's interesting. Some of you will love it, some of you will hate it. But here is the plans for my league start. So last Freesia event, I tried a blind prophet Zenith character, and it worked. And then I transitioned into trying to do an ephemeral edge Molten Strike with like a bunch of ES and stuff, It was fine. I think I got to like 30 mil DPS or something only. But I got really bored. I hated the idol system the first time they did Freesia, and then they did it again. I'm like, let me try it again, and I still hated it. It's not there this time. We're getting the Atlas tree this time. Yeah, idols like literally just kill the end game for me. I don't like them. Okay, but so I will not be swapping off of Zenith before I reroll into an entirely new build. And I think I probably won't even end up rerolling, and if I do, it'll be something to do with Aristocrat. And I won't even have to level a new character. I can just swap to Aristo. But basically, the core idea of doing Zenith, there's two things I think that are specific to this exact event that make it so appealing to me. And the first thing is this Elemental Relic node. This gives you a level 20 Anger, level 20 Hatred, and level 20 Wrath aura, basically at all times. And that is a lot of flat damage. And Zenith is the highest effective damage skill in the entire game, and so it's the best possible skill to take advantage of something like this. So you can see, look at my DPS. If I take this off, it's like almost half of my DPS. This will carry you for a long time. Damage will not be an issue. Plus this is also 25% more damage right here on this one, so this is a super, super nice 4 points. And then there's this node, which I like quite a bit. Early on, before your 4th Ascendancy, you're going to have Conk Ground when you're stationary, which is like always. You're basically always going to have this buff. Conk Ground gives you 5% of your life regen per second. And this gives you 50% increased effect, so it becomes 7.5. So it'll just be some really, really solid recovery for your early mapping and stuff. And then when your 4th Ascendancy is done, I think this is going to be cool. So there's like one thing that I don't look forward to with this character, and it's just the simple fact that it's not as tanky as I'd like it to be. And I've been using this, going through this POV for like 2 or 3 hours total, just trying to solve defenses as much as possible. And I found this, which is really cool, which is you get, if you do the Lycia, which I'll have to do a Sanctum, which is cringe to get this, but you make Profane Ground instead of Conk Ground, because at this point you're going to have a lot of Leech, right? Like, Leech is not hard to get with this, so, like, the recovery of Conk Ground is not going to be very important. It's just going to be nice early. You'll get Profane Ground instead, and it also inflicts Malediction. So it's 100% increased crit chance. The curse effect I don't think matters for marks. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter for marks, but if it does, then cool. Because we're not using curse, we use a mark. And then Malediction causes them to take 10% more damage and deal 10% less. So it's a defensive, 10% less damage taken is great. And then 100% crit chance and 10% more damage. That's fantastic. So I think this will be pretty cool. I like it. But that's not the other thing that was most important. That was just, you know, exploring the Ascendancy. For the other reason is the tattoo that gives you skills, fire, and additional projectile. Now, like I said, Zenith is the highest scaling, like effective damage skill in the entire game, and adding a projectile is just basically another form of scaling that damage. So these are really appealing, right? There's a catch to these, which is that you have to have 7 allocated adjacent passive skills. And so there's very few places you can actually do it. But these 2 spots, because I'm using 2, are basically the best option. So you can see it's like this. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you have to get at least 7. And I'm doing it twice. I do it right here as well. Now this one is different though, because it has this. The Warrior's Tail. So it's doubling the effect. So this is giving me 2 projectiles. And so simply using 2 tattoos and 1 jewel gets you 3 projectiles. For Zenith, that's really, really fucking good. So, like, you can see, unallocating this is a 20% loss. Unallocating this is a 10% loss. So it's 30% more damage. Which has even more value with, like, returning projectiles and all that. So it's just really, really nice. But let's go back to the lower bed. I have 3 different configurations slash like sets here. This is the earliest one, and this isn't like, you can change stuff if you want. If you're gonna do this build, you can change stuff. Nothing in here is like mandatory. This is just really, really comfy early stuff. So, and also like for leveling, I don't know. Leveling in the campaign, I don't, just do whatever you want. I'm not like, I don't do that for campaign. I don't plan my campaign. I just play the campaign. I just do whatever comes to mind. I'll probably end up using Molten Strike for the entire campaign. I'll probably just like have a live search for Zenith and swap to Zenith as soon as possible because I just like doing that. So when it comes to leveling, just do whatever you want. And this is a really, really good ascendancy to do that, right? Because you're getting just generic elemental damage and then rushing this. Whenever you get this, no matter what attack skill you're using, like the chaos or the campaign is just like done. Like this thing is OP as fuck. So yeah, anyway, it's in terms of just like saying anything important about the tree, it's basically, I'll show you the most important things about it. You can see the crit chance is 92%. And this is like, the only thing about this that isn't straight out of the campaign basically is being level 97 and having relatively well-rolled items. Now the life number and the armor number are not proper reflections, like, because I just have, this is like, on all budgets, you just look for these affixes as good as possible. So these aren't like optimized for like early level. You'd probably be less than 4k HP. You're probably not going to have 100% spell suppression immediately, but like, it doesn't take that long to get that done. But yeah, anyway, the best scaling for this is, if you want to scale crit early on, you can take the crit chance for blind, and then you get the mastery for more crit chance. So this is giving a lot of crit chance. What is this, 25, 85, 135% crit chance. And then this is another one where you get 15% here, 15% here, 80% here, and 30 multi, and 80% from the mastery. So this is like insane amounts of crit for 8 total points. And then it's a projectile skill, so we can use the projectile crit wheel. We're using a sword, so we can use this crit wheel. Crit multi right here. And more crit multi and stuff for swords over here. So there is a lot of crit available, and it makes the damage scaling even easier. Like, honestly, just between those nodes I just went over and the elemental relics itself, like, you could have a fucking white sword on and you're still going to clear T16 maps. And then if you're doing Molten Strike, you always want to have less projectile speed, so these are really good. Like, if I undid this, you can see it's 35% less damage. Same with point blank. You want point blank. You know, tree is pretty simple. Another projectile here. +1 strike. Frenzies from hitting marked, so you get frenzies. And I'm also not using Sniper's Mark. I'm using Assassin's Mark because they're almost the same value. Assassin's Mark is actually higher, and it will give you power charges against bosses. So, yeah, you get a 5% chance to get power charge when you hit, and you hit a lot of fucking times. So you will always have 3 power charges and 3 frenzy charges against bosses. So that is the tree and like what the sort of idea here. In terms of items, you know, you want a triple elemental sword, generic armor and evasion stuff, and then you just convert all of the evasion to armor here. So you get a pretty big, nice fizz max hit early on. If it weren't for armor, this build would not be fucking playable in maps, I think, but we can get it, so. And here's a generic low-level amulet, and the tamings, if you can't get the taming, you know, because it's usually kind of expensive at the start, just get a nice ring with resistances, as much flat attack damage and the increased ally damage, as much as damage as you can get to make up the difference. Obviously, you'll be tankier if you wear no taming, so that's an option. And then early on flasks, tincture with attack speed on it. Ooh, I have the wrong thing selected on there, my bad. Wait, do I? Why does it say reduced effect? What is this doing? Why does this is bugged. Look at this. It says 35% increased effect here, but if you drag it, that's bugged. It's not supposed to do that. I don't know what the hell they did. I'm just gonna use this then. I'm just gonna say, because it's supposed to be increased effect and increased mana burn for like better effect, but this is fine. Anyway, you know what it's supposed to be. That's so weird though. I've done this in POE before. I don't know what that bug is. Silver flask, obviously. Diamond flask for just a little bit more crit if you need it or want it. You can replace this with a different one. Granite if you want or something. I don't know. Sulfur even. Jade, because again, like you're just converting that. Since you're scaling dex, you get more out of getting a Jade flask than you do a Granite flask because you're scaling the evasion before you convert it. And then a Divine Life flask, which won't be necessary really at all once you have a good amount of leech, so this is just replaceable. And then these are the low budget jewels, just you want max life, a little bit of crit multi, some attack speed, you know, just simple stuff. But I will now, oh, let me just point to, I just have this here, I'm assuming you're res capped, okay, like for all, I'm not going to type in every resistance for every piece of item, just get your resistances up. I will also mention right now, because this confused me at first, so even though I'm creating profane ground and POB knows that I'm creating profane ground instead of consecrated ground, for some reason, if I'm stationary, it thinks that I have conk ground even though I'm not going to. You can see I have 770 life regen. I do not have that much. I have 227. So just understand that that number is not real. And I hate that. I hate, it's like, you know that I'm getting profane ground instead, so why are you... Yeah, anyway. But I need this to say 1 because of Arctic armor, so... Alright. Now, I want to talk about the interrogation setup, which is a nice swap. If you're going to do this POV, make sure you swap everything. You swap config, you swap skills, items, and tree. Okay, there's 1 for each. Alright, so let's talk about this, because this is cool. And you can see this is where the damage starts getting really good. And this is not that expensive, by the way, this setup. Like, yoke will be pretty expensive early on, sure, but not that expensive. The sword won't be that hard to make. Again, these are all the same things here. I even replaced the tamings just for more life. And yeah, life. I still have this life flask, so it could be replaced with something else. It doesn't even need to be here. The jewels are better. And we're doing the tattoo thing. Now, back in Ancestors League, these tattoos were the rarest, or not I don't want to say the most desired over all of the other tattoos on the minor like notables here, like or the travel nodes. But it was a tornado shot league. And I think there were like 12 divine, while like the other good tattoos were like all less than 1. Like it was that kind of disparity, but tornado shot was extremely popular and spark was super popular. Neither one of those things are going to be true for this league unless people specifically look at tornado shot because of these tattoos coming back, which is valid, by the way. That is valid. So I don't think they're going to be that expensive, but even if they are, that's like 24D for 3 extra projectiles. And this thing was 1 divine, was really common in Tota, so I wouldn't expect to have to spend much on this. So what we're doing here, though, you can see my crit chance is 100%, and I don't even have these crit things taken anymore because we don't need it. And this is because of interrogation. This gives you Secrets of Suffering. You no longer inflict Shock, Chill, or Ignite. You get Scorch, Brittle, and Sapped. Scorch reduces the resistances up to 30. Brittle gives you base crit, up to plus 6% base crit. And Sap makes them deal less damage up to 20%. And the catch has always been, how do you get enough effect to maximize these? And the truth is, you have to do a shit ton of damage. Like, your hit has to be really big. I think the way it works is like Brittle, if you want to get to the 6% number, which is the highest it can be, you need to deal, I think, the cold damage deal has to be like 28% of their ailment threshold type of thing. Like, I don't know. Either way, there was some old tornado shot builds that would get that instantly. It was really easy to reliably get to 6. And Zenith will have absolutely no problem for all 3 of these getting to the max effect, because if you look at the magma balls on the 5th attack, you're talking about an average damage of, well, let me take this down to like, I go to 0 on all these, a 1.8 million damage hit. Yeah, that's going to take you to 6. So these are maxed out. You're getting all of these benefits. So that Brittle, watch, like, look how much it does for crit. Right, I have 60 crit. If I do to 6 Brittle, it goes to 100. And then minus 30 to their resistances is obviously amazing. And then taking 20% less damage, obviously amazing. So this will feel extremely good. And is not a rare item. No one really uses it anymore. But this is a perfect use case for it. So, yeah, sick. Is there anything else we're doing that's cool here? Not really, but because the damage is so overwhelmingly easy to get, and I'm still thinking of things that can make it even tankier. But as for right now, the only real tankiness thing that I could do here was just throw on what's it called? Impossible Escape to get 3 max res over here. That's one thing to do. Ralakesh for endurance charges. If the Ascendancy tattoos are easy to get, then getting Unflinching from the Juggernaut, which I can show on the final thing here, it's what I'm going to do later. By the way, in this POB, on this final page, I have put potential Ascendancy tattoos, and there will be more than these, but I think these are the best ones you can think of. Shrapnel Specialist gives you 50% chance to return projectiles. So that's one, and if you want to see what it does, you just take this star away and it will show you. Unflinching is what I will like to use because it'll make this build's only weakness a lot less weak, which is defense. Inevitable Judgment is an interesting one where you ignore LE resistances. It's coming from Templar. Granted, if you want to take this one, you're gonna have to change the tree a little bit because you don't need Scorch anymore, right? You don't want it to be minus 30% Scorch, so you have to change a few things because then you also wouldn't be using the Interrogation, so your crit goes back down. So yeah, that one it's got potential, but it changed a lot of things. And then this Worthy Foe one, the only reason I'm even putting this here, it makes you taunt on attack, and things that are taunted by you take 50% increased damage, and you don't have to worry about accuracy. Now, the only reason that's there is because of this node. It makes them take 20% more damage if you taunt them. I would be using this tech if the first line did what I thought it did. I thought it made them deal 20% less damage. No. They deal 20% less damage to other guys. So, it doesn't do shit for you. If that said 20% less damage for me, then I would absolutely be doing this tech. Because that would be 35% increased damage, don't have to worry about accuracy, and 20% less damage taken. Are you serious? Like, sign me the fuck up. But no, not that good. There's probably things you can do that are cooler, but... is there anything else to talk about in the interrogation setup? Probably not. Rage is something you can find a way to get some of. You can get some rage on hit over here. Isn't there one over here too, actually, somewhere? Yeah, you can get one here, so you can get a little bit of rage if you want. You can also get it on the glove implicit, but you want +1 strike, so... oh yeah, so let me talk about Yoke is something, the higher damage option for this character, obviously. And if you wanted to keep the taming, you would gain damage. So like if you don't care about losing the life, then you can use taming. Because it's still the highest damage rings you can get. But Yoke is definitely a better, you know, more important thing for damage. Defiance of Destiny is the ultimate amulet for this, because it's a life build. And yeah. So yeah, I mean, you see what's going on here. The damage is pretty good. 26k max Fizz hit is really good too, honestly. It's not bad at all. All you have to do is not get one shot because you're gonna leech like so fast. And then obviously I have Molten Shell too. So if you factor in Molten Shell, you're doing way better here. I also am using Ball Smite, because why not? I'm already using Leap Slam, faster attacks, so it's like it can link in here pretty well. Put more duration for just having it longer, you know, just gives you some flat damage. For auras, it's Arctic Armor, and this is the same auras I use across all of them. Arctic Armor is like mandatory in my opinion for any Molten Strike character. Flesh and Stone, same thing basically. Vol Haste, just as a nice little buff that you can pop sometimes. And then Precision. Now there is something interesting with Skitterbots. Just because you're using Interrogation, like, and you can't inflict Shock and Chill, does not mean that they can't. And so you can still get Chill and Shock from Skitterbots, which isn't just damage for that reason. Like, let's say you're still using the Taming. Whoops, that's Nimbus. I don't think you're gonna be using that. If you're still using the Tamings and you have the Yoke of Suffering on, this gives a lot of damage. Because not only is it giving like the shock, there's also proccing 2 more ailments from the taming. Actually, it doesn't work with Yoke. I'm just now realizing it doesn't work with Yoke because it says you have afflicted on them. So it's just for a taming buff, really. So it's not that insane, but it is more damage. But I think damage is overkill on this character, so... and yeah, again, Assassin's Mark is just seemingly always better. because you get the power charges. So like, yes, it's technically 3% better here to get Sniper's Mark, but that's because I have the power charges thing. Yeah, you get it. So yeah, that is 76 million DPS for how cheap this is. I don't think this will be more than like 80D total of investment, if that. So I'll just wrap up by talking about the final POV. If you've gotten this far, this build at this point will feel very good. What am I missing here? There. So at this point, this is a Nimbus setup. If you ever see like any builds that I'm gonna create in POE at this point, POE 1, I think that the end game, the ultimate DPS number to hit to basically just be super comfortable doing any content is 150 mil. If you can hit anything past 150 mil, I don't care. It's overkill, like big time overkill. This goes over a little bit, but you know, it's assuming best possible conditions, so it's probably like realistically like 100 to 130 just like through mapping. But you know, obviously if you're bossing, you'll hit this number. And this is how you put Zenith, you put an extra count. Which by the way, there's going to be times that your count's going to be like 3 or 4 when you're using Nimbus, because the projectiles from all different strike targets return to you. So if you're hitting a boss and there's like an extra monster next to it, you're going to get more damage, so just keep that in mind. Nimbus is OP, of course. So what changed with the high budget Defiance of Destiny? You can see the effect of hit pool when you have Defiance of Destiny on is just kind of ridiculous. Like if you don't use this on a life build, you're kind of missing out. And you do get hit a lot when you're playing Zenith because you are melee and you are dealing delayed damage. So things will hit you. So this is a way of making small hits can't kill you. They just can't. So this item is too good in my opinion to not use, even though putting a yoke on still would be like a lot more damage. I don't care about damage. But yeah, at this point, like Nimbus, right? That's the only truly expensive thing that I threw in here, because Defiance Destiny is never that expensive. But then you also swap to Ruby, Topaz, Sapphire with the Silver Flask, which you can also do this on the other one. You can do this whenever you want. In reality, I'll probably end up doing that for the interrogation setup, but yeah, you just throw in those, and then there's like a Storm Shroud, which using the boots have, yeah, 41 avoid shock, 17 avoid Ellie, so just need to avoid Jewel. And your ailment immune. Is there anything else you even mention about this thing? Like, this isn't perfect either. Oh, I chose to do this for stun immunity. You can also just get a flask that does 50% and then tattoo the rest of the 50%, because you can tattoo a lot of the dexterities and get away with it. Yeah, so this is how my stun avoid is there. Oh, I didn't mention the clusters. This is actually on the interrogation swap setup too. I don't know what the best large is to use, but I do think it's worth using a large, and I think this one's pretty good. You're getting Fuel the Fight and Martial Prowess. They're pretty effective. They're efficient, right? This is 7.5 DPS, and this one's, well, it's only 2.2, but you know, there's probably a better an option, but we'll see. Actually, there should probably be like a, because we have Mirage in this event too, so we'll have the Fog, so maybe we can make this some kind of cool thing. And then there's this node, which maybe you use, I don't know. But then these are really good though. The Repeater and Eye to Eye projectile medium clusters. This one's 5.7, this one's 7.1. So they're very, very efficient damage nodes. And jewels are really strong on this build too, so as many jewels as you can fit. And the Watcher's Eye is a precision attack speed and life per hit vitality, of course. Zenith Classic. Still using this for the max res, although you could definitely get away with not using it now. And I'm also using an Anime Guardian. I was a huge fan of how this felt in Mirage on the strength stacking heavy striker. I don't see why I wouldn't use it again. It just feels amazing. And this is the stats that it will give me. Companionship makes it take 15% less from hits. Malediction on their helmet will give less damage taken and 10% more damage. Because we are also not using Conk Ground anymore at this level. Because we're doing the unflinching ascendancy thing, we would have it here somewhere. So we can't do both Conk Ground and Profane Ground nodes, and so instead I just go back to using Spectral Tigers, because they're super efficient, to leave an open ascendancy point here for unflinching, for endurance charges. And endurance charges are pretty important. Dude, every time I open this, I'm not joking, every time I open this final, it loses hit chance without changing anything. This keeps happening. Like, but anyway, you'll have 100. You just gotta whatever. Yeah, but then my guy's gonna have Malediction Helmet because I don't have it anymore, so that's 10% more damage, 10% less taken, and then he'll have a Kingmaker equipped, 50 crit multi, 10 fortification, and Coaling Strike. So very efficient. And then yeah, here's the unflinching thing. So yeah, endurance charges are insane. I should remove this line, making it hard to. I want to see the difference. Yeah, you can see the difference. Numbers here obviously is fantastic to have the endurance charges, and this is the most comfortable way to get them. Though sometimes you will have, like, even if you don't have Ralakesh, you can do this one. Like, this will be up a decent amount of the time. I'm doing it for the lower budget, but I don't think it's worth, like, just get the Ralakesh things. These are never expensive on the Ralakesh. So this one is the one that's most important though. Like, if you're looking at playing this, the Interrogation Swap setup is the one that you should look at and decide if you want to play it, because this will be very realistic to get going and should feel pretty good to play. So there will be changes. I'll just end up adapting a bit, but this looks like it's going to be pretty promising. And if I decide to roll into anything else, if I'm motivated enough to stick around in the event to get like a super high budget character, I would like to try Heavy Strike of Jarthus Strength Stacker on the Aristocrat. So that's what I got planned, and I'll see you for the event.